All right, welcome. This is a little different. I cooked the steaks. I didn't record. The steaks were very loud. So I'm gonna try this steak now. Oh my God, it's so nice. This is what it looks like. Delightful. Ooh, that's beautiful. So the point of brining the steak before you cook it is what happens is, excuse me, I got my coffee here. It's quite late. I slept an extra 30 minutes or so. It's 10 after 10 now, and I don't have much time, so this is going to be probably a quicker video, which I'm very glad I did because I woke up at 8:30. I lay down at 3:30. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So after 5 hours, it probably took me 30 minutes to get sleep. So after about 4.5 hours of sleep, I woke up and nature was calling. So after I went to the bathroom, I came back and went back to sleep. So I was like, should I just get up in 30 minutes? But I stay in bed. It took a little while to fall back asleep, but I fell back asleep or back to sleep. And I had a dream, very heavy, vivid dream sleep. So the alarm went off at 9:45. So I'm glad I went back for that extra hour because I did get a very deep sleep. I know that because I had a very vivid type dream, which was great. So I'm running late now, and when I was cooking the steaks, the fat, the oil, the olive oil, the pan was a little bit wet, and it was just sputtering and bubbling and exploding oil all over the place. So I got to clean that up tomorrow. But yeah, it was quite loud. But anyway, the point of brining the steak is what happens when you brine it like that is the salt. The salt gets into the cells through osmosis of the meat, and it penetrates deep into the meat. But it's very different. When you shake some salt and you taste it, you get a very salty flavor on your tongue. And when you put salt on your steak and it's not there long enough to brine the steak, the middle of the steak doesn't have any salt, and the top of the steak has that bitey, salty flavor, which is fine. But when you allow the salt to penetrate further into the steak, it doesn't taste salty. And one thing about salt is it ignites your salivary glands. And your salivary glands produce more saliva, sorry. So it gives the impression of it doesn't taste salty, but you're producing more saliva. So in your brain, the steak appears to be much more juicy. So that's one thing. Plus, after the steak is resting, um, the salt is going to suck those juices back into the steak. Well, it's going to happen regardless, but because of osmosis, the fluid is going to go in there. And you will actually have a bit more of a juicy steak. So this steak does not taste salty. I didn't put pepper on these steaks, I just realized. That's one thing that's missing, but this steak doesn't need pepper. It tastes wonderful. And also it's nice and crusted, so I believe it's called the Meniere's effect. You might want to look that up. It's just the caramelization, different flavor profile of the meat when you get a nice crust on the steak from high heat. This steak is slightly more cooked than I would have liked it. It's more of a medium, but because it's been brined and because I'm eating it right away and I'm not putting it in the fridge and reheating it, it's still wonderful. Delightful steak. So anyway, that's why you brine a steak. That's why you put the salt on at least 40 minutes before you cook the steak. And the question, oh, how long? Should it be an hour? Should it be 2 hours? Is 40 minutes the magic number? It doesn't matter because it's only going to brine so much. There was a guy, he did this steak is actually medium rare, further into the middle, so this is wonderful. This is perfect. It doesn't matter as long as it's 40 minutes, and it doesn't even, if it's 30, that's probably fine. Because once the process is finished, it's not just going to keep absorbing salt like that. I mean, it will if you keep applying salt, then it's like salt fish on a fish flake. But once you apply the salt, the brining process is only going to go so far as the salt is there. Yeah, that's how osmosis works. The more salt, the more that's going to be penetrating. But once the salt is penetrated, the process ends. You probably won't get a true equilibrium. I don't know how deeply the process works. I guess if it was left long enough, it would uniformly penetrate the steak. I don't see why it wouldn't, but anyway, this is fine. The guy did the experiment. He brined steaks for 2 days, 1 day, 12 hours, I don't know, 4 hours, 2 hours, an hour, 30 minutes. He must have done 40 minutes as well because he said, yeah, 40 minutes is pretty well good enough. So that's what you do. You see a lot of people right before they cook the steak, they'll just apply their salt and pepper. That's what I've been doing for years. And then I discovered this idea of brining steak, and especially if you have a cheaper cut of meat. I don't mind cheaper cuts of meat. A cheaper cut of meat basically means it's going to be a little tougher and a little chewier, but I enjoy chewing on a steak. This is a more expensive cut of meat. I don't remember what it was, but this is very enjoyable. Not overly chewy. So, as you know, I got my plastic temporary crown, and the dentist basically said, look, don't chew on it too much. It's going to be there for 2 or 3 weeks until the new tooth is ready. And yeah, don't eat anything hard on it. I've been eating on this side now for probably 2 years. So it's totally foreign for me to put food over here to chew anyway. So I'm just going to continue this for the next couple of weeks until my permanent crown is on. And I'll probably leave it for another week with the permanent crown on just to make sure it's snug before I start doing that. And I might buy some exercise balls to chew on to build up these muscles, because I've been chewing on this side for so long that my bilateral symmetry is probably off. These muscles have been developed, and these ones not so much. So once this tooth is straightened out, I'll probably do that and get my bilateral symmetry back up. Now, maybe this is something only I notice, or maybe it's psychological, I don't know, but I look forward to starting to chew food on this side again, but I won't do it with the temporary. Anyway, this video is getting long, and I'm going to be late for work if I don't get a move on, so I promised you a video. I don't know if I mentioned that I did ride the bike, did my 600 calories, I think I told you that, but anyway, till next time, who loves your baby? This guy. And remember, you're somebody's favorite person in this world, probably me. So go ahead and brine your steaks. Until next time, love you, see you tomorrow, and all the best. Goodbye.